Everybody, Rich Lang here with Prep You back in the bunker. We're going to talk about earthquake preparedness today. We're going to go over some facts, then we're going to go over what you need to do for your home, what you can do at your workplace, get together with the people that you work with or the owners of the company to make sure that even your business is prepared, and talk to your family about planning and evacuation and know where everything is, and then a few final thoughts, and then what you should do depending on where you're at when the earthquake hits. So let's get right into the facts. A lot of people don't know this stuff. Facts. 45 states and territories are at risk of earthquakes. I never knew that. You are more likely to be injured or killed by falling or flying objects than to be killed in a collapsed building. Interesting too. Doorways are no safer than the rest of the building. Find a sturdy table and get underneath it. I always was told that, get in a doorway because it's the safest place, but apparently not. Don't run outside. I knew this. Don't run outside. Trying to run during an earthquake is nearly impossible, and you can get hit by falling objects. As a matter of fact, there were a few earthquakes that I read up on, and more people were killed by facades falling on them as they were trying to get out of the buildings and into a clear space, but there was no clear space because all this stuff was falling off the building. People that stayed inside the building were perfectly fine. All right, preparing your home. Secure items like water heaters, shelving units, and other tall, tippable items. Just like you would do if you've got kids around. You want to make sure that everything's secured. Make sure water and gas lines are protected. Know how to shut them off, or install auto shutoffs. If you don't know how to install the auto shutoffs, have a professional do that. I think that's just better. Was your home built before 1935 and on a raised foundation? Make sure your home is bolted to the foundation. Otherwise, it has a big chance of shifting back and forth. But if it's bolted in, again, have a professional do that. I think that's a requirement in California. Keep heavy pictures and mirrors away from above beds and places people sit. That makes a lot of sense, but when you're decorating, where do you put those heavy things? Yeah, right above the bed and right above where you're sitting. Keep heavy and breakable items low in closed cabinets with latches. So don't put your leaded crystal stuff up high, have them down low, so if your cabinets do open, stuff that's super heavy isn't falling on top of you. Put the Tupperware up top, at least you can, dodge that stuff, or it can hit you and you don't have to worry about it. Use earthquake resistant picture hooks, didn't even know they had those, and earthquake putty or museum wax at the bottom corners of your pictures. So it's just this putty or wax that you put in the four corners of your pictures or whatever, and after it's on the hook, which it should be on the earthquake hook, press it against the wall, and it has a tendency to stay there, which is really nice. Didn't even know that stuff exists. Move beds away from windows. Makes perfect sense. Affix glass film to windows and door glass. Avoid glass altogether in picture frames. Use plexiglass or don't use anything. Have 2 fire extinguishers available at all times, just for the fact that in a lot of earthquakes there are fires because of broken gas lines, gas cans that get tipped over. It's nice to have those, so at least you may not be able to put the fire out, but you can at least get out of your building. Keep a pair of shoes by your bed. That's a great idea, because if you think about it, when everything's rattling around and falling and breaking and everything, if you don't have shoes on, you're going to cut your feet. Now you got all kinds of problems. Keep a flashlight by every bed, including your kids' beds and your guest beds, because chances are the power is going to go off and you're not going to be able to see. And these things always seem to happen at night, although there's no proof of that. I'm just throwing it out there. Earthquake prep at work. Secure file cabinets, mainframes, and bookcases. High racks should be secured to the floor and at the top together, like in a warehouse or in an area where you have your products. You've got like these, which are behind me, secure them to the floor and then lash them together. It's the best thing to do. Latch cabinet doors. And secure partitions from falling over. Secure them together. Don't just have them just sitting there at different angles. Secure them all together. Use anti-skid maps on your desk. And if it's higher than your desk level, they say secure it. Secure it however you can do it. Again, earthquake putty or museum wax to secure items to desks and tabletops, and pictures and certificates and diplomas and stuff like that to the wall. Anti-skid sheets under keyboards and laptops. I don't know if you've ever seen them. They basically go on your desk, and then these go on top of it, and as it shakes, it just stays in one spot. So they have them for kids. I don't know if you've seen like the kids' plates that have this material underneath it, so as they're trying to eat, it isn't going all over their tray. Always a good idea. All right, what to do if you're in an earthquake. Indoor during an earthquake. If in bed, hold on, stay there. Do not try to move around. It's impossible to walk. We've already talked about that. Stay inside until the shaking stops. When exiting, look out for falling debris. Kind of look up, see if anything's hanging over your doorway. If it is, go a different way. Obviously, stay away from bookcases and other furniture that can fall on you, even if you know it is secured to the wall. In the kitchen, stay away from your fridge, stove, and wall cabinets as the shaking is happening. Drop down. As I said before, it's safer to crawl. And take cover under a desk or a table. Something heavy, something that's going to protect you. What they say is, all the agents say, drop, cover, and hold on. This simple action has saved many from injury and death. Move as little as possible to find shelter. If you're in an open area, in a room or anything, get down on the ground, crawl to the closest, securest area that you can. Don't try to crawl across the building or across the office and stuff like that. In high rises, get away from windows and get by an interior wall and protect your head and neck. Don't use the elevators. Even after the earthquake, you don't know the conditions of the elevators. The building could have shifted slightly, and the elevator may make it down a couple of floors and then get jammed. And now you're stuck, and don't forget about aftershocks. In a wheelchair, stay in it, move to cover, lock your wheels, and protect your head and neck. In a theater or stadium, stay in your seats, get down onto the floor. It's probably better to get down onto the floor, because then the two seats, your seat and the other seat, is kind of like a support. So if anything does come down, it's going to hit the tops of those seats and just maybe stop, and protect you a little bit. In a store, drop to the ground, crawl to cover. Your cart, turn your cart upside down and get underneath it. If you're big, if you're real big, it's not going to work, obviously. But get underneath the rack of clothes, the metal rack. Outside during an earthquake, move to a clear area away from power lines, signs, buildings, vehicles, and other hazards. Pretty much a no-brainer. If you are driving, pull over, keep your seatbelts on, set the parking brake, stay inside the vehicle, and of course, avoid overpasses, bridges, power lines, and signs. If a power line falls on your vehicle, stay in your vehicle. The worst thing you could do is step out of the vehicle, because your vehicle is grounded, all right? The power is just staying where it's at. Once you step out, if you're still in the car, you've made a path for that power to go through you to the ground. If you're on a sidewalk, duck into a doorway. Like we said before, get in the cover. Don't be out in the open, especially like if you're, if you're in a main street and it's just wide open. You don't want to be anywhere near there. If you are by the coast, all right, Atlantic, Pacific, Gulf, drop, cover, and hold on at first. If severe shaking lasts more than 20 seconds, seek higher ground of at least 100 feet, or if terrain is flat, move 2 miles inland as fast as you can. Downstream from a dam, pray. No, really. Downstream from a dam if you live by a dam, you should know the evacuation plan. You should know the sirens that they're going to use. And you should know the evacuation plan from around there. All right, right after the earthquake. Check for injuries. If life-threatening, treat or seek treatment. Any type of injuries, obviously, you're going to treat right away. Check for hazards, gas, water, electrical, sewage. If you can turn it off, turn it off. If you can avoid it at all costs. And have a gas wrench handy in your kit. We're going to talk about the kit later. Evacuate any structure that is damaged. Watch for falling objects again and debris on the ground. Be careful. It's very easy to, when you're walking across stuff, to twist an ankle, break an ankle, pull a ligament, or fall and hit your head on concrete and stuff like that, and then you're out of business. Any injury, is bad enough, but when you throw in a situation like this, it makes it even worse. If your home or property is damaged, contact your insurance agent as soon as possible. Double check your coverage now. If you live in an earthquake-prone area, big earthquake-prone area like the coast, but also you have to think about, people down in Missouri and southern Illinois and stuff like that. You have the New Madrid Fault down that way, which actually, when it went off, I don't know, back in the 1800s, the Mississippi River actually flowed backwards for a few days. Get a hold of your out-of-state contacts and let them know about your status. I am okay. I'm okay, but so-and-so isn't. We're getting them to a hospital and all that kind of stuff. Use your emergency or vehicle radio for info and advisories. Prepare for aftershocks, which they may last weeks. Some can be large or larger, as large or larger than the original quake. All right, refrain from using open flame heaters or light sources, at least till you know the gas is shut off and it's had a time to clear, and then maybe down the road if you don't have anything else, if your batteries are running out. But they shouldn't run out because you should have plenty of batteries for your lanterns. If you smell gas, obviously do not operate electrical or mechanical equipment. Do not use gas heaters, lanterns, or cooking devices indoor due to CO hazards or fire hazards. We all know that. It's just, basic information. You don't want to do that. All right, soon after the quake, not immediately. Obviously, aftershocks may continue. Make sure your residence is safe. Arrange for the gas company to turn on the gas. They will check all the appliances and the gas lines, and they'll turn it back on. Check all electrical devices for damage. Check water lines. Take an inventory of damage or destroyed property for insurance company. My suggestion to all of you, and this goes beyond the whole thing about earthquakes, fires, and stuff like that. You have a phone. Go around your house. Take pictures of everything you own, everything where it's at. So it's a lot easier for the insurance company. You can just go, here's my phone, here's my pictures, just print them. I lost everything. So they'll actually be able to look at the stuff like, oh, you had this, and you had this, you had this, you had these, and you just do an inventory. It's the greatest way. I remember before this, we have to write everything down. Leaving your home. Only leave it if it is structurally unsound or is threatened by fire. Stay at home. If you can do it at all possible, stay at home. Get a hold of the local authorities, let them know that you're there, and also check out what supplies that they're offering. But you should have stuff in your basement. You should have stuff already secured. If you do leave, tell your neighbors that aren't leaving and your out-of-state contact that you're leaving your home. They say contact the post office to hold your mail. I don't think they're going to deliver the mail into certain areas. Whatever supplies that you need, bring with you. Because where you're going, you may not find any supplies. They may already be bought up, used, gone, or whatever. All right, earthquake preparedness plan. Have an earthquake quick. Can we take that back? Have an earthquake kit available, which really is no different than what you're going to have for any other disaster. You want the kit supplies available and accessible at all times. home, away, and in your vehicle or at work. I mean, that's your get home bag, that's your, your bug out bag and equipment and stuff. Make sure your vehicle is set and ready to go. Outline evacuation routes and reunion locations where you can meet up, because when stuff like this happens, everybody isn't at home. Again, have an out-of-state contact, out of area or out-of-state contact that everybody can call to say, hey, I'm okay. Or if they don't get a call from you, they know either something's up, something's wrong. Download maps to your phone or purchase hard copy maps. Just in case GPS goes down, they shut it down for whatever reason, or your phone doesn't work. Have portable chargers / battery packs available and ready. Keep those things charged. Keep them ready. Keep them in your car, your bug out bag, your get home bag, your backpack for school. Backpack for school. Of course, we know the kids have them in their backpacks for school. Keep your vehicle at least 3/4 full at all times. And that goes for anything. I mean, that's in the winter time. That's in the summertime. Always keep your vehicle 3/4 full. Please take a first aid class with your local Red Cross or your fire department. Learn CPR and keep current. Make sure everyone in your family knows the plan and participates and practices the plan, and let them know where your supplies are. Make sure your supply area is always clean and it isn't full of junk that you don't need. Double check your insurance plan. Make sure you're covered for this stuff, all right? And check your plan and supplies quarterly. Rotate your food, donate if you can, and replace as needed, all right? So that's your plan. All right, your disaster kit. What do you need in your disaster kit? And remember, your disaster kit might be restricted to a duffel bag or a few backpacks, especially if you have to evacuate and you can't evacuate with a car, if you just have to walk to a shelter and you don't want to take a lot of stuff with you. Make sure your disaster kit is enough for 72 hours up to a few weeks. So what do you want? You want medications and eyewear, water, canned food. Canned food includes fish, chicken, beans, canned fruit, peanut butter, and crackers. Have a can opener. Don't forget a can opener. All right, some of the cans, if you can find them, get the ones that just pop open. Then you don't need a can opener, but you should always have a can opener. All right, extra clothes and sturdy shoes, just because of the terrain you're going to be walking on and debris. Sleepwear. Have sleepwear. We've talked about this before. Do not sleep in the clothes you work in, and do not work in the clothes that you sleep in. Keep your sleep clothes as clean as possible. All right. Weather appropriate outerwear, sleeping bags, air mattresses and pillows, towels and washcloths. I know it sounds crazy, but it really feels good. Think about at the end of the night when you take a shower or when you wash up, how good it feels just to wash your face. All right. Don't forget infant needs, including toys, games, and cards. Identification with your picture and address on it, multiple ones, so you can get back into the area if you have to. Copies of health and home insurance, just have it with you at all times. Comfort items, whatever you consider a comfort item, have those items. Chargers, like we talked about, pet supplies for your animals. And remember, some shelters won't accept animals, so I would suggest having items that you can camp in, tents, tarps, stuff like that. Cash and small bills. Don't know if the ATMs are going to work. Cash is king in an emergency like this. A toolkit, a good toolkit with gas shutoff wrench like we talked about, flashlights, and plenty of batteries. And remember, don't hide this. Mark it as emergency supplies and let everybody know where it's at, because you may not be home. Some of the other stuff we talked about, and I kind of hit on it, but maybe, tents, rain gear, storage bags, tarps, heavy-duty plastic bags, cooking items, tools, and work gloves you could all put together. If you're bunkered up, you got all this stuff, all right? You got it covered. All right, so that's really it as far as earthquake. But here's some of the people I want to acknowledge. I want to thank the LA Times for some information I got from them. Various state and federal websites, some state publications, and earthquakecountry.org. That's earthquakecountry.org. A lot of great information. You can get a lot of the stuff that we just talked about here on there. Some final thoughts about this. Disasters can strike anytime, anywhere, and affect family close and far. Some of your family may need your help because their area was stricken by an earthquake or a rock slide or a mudslide or whatever. You need to be available to help them also. Don't overthink your plan. Keep it simple. Keep it very simple, all right? Play out scenarios in your head and on paper, and actually, if drive the evacuation routes. Load your car with the stuff that you need. We have said this with all kinds of things. It doesn't matter if it's civil unrest or man-made disaster or, natural disaster. Play these things out so you're ready. Remember to plan with your students, your college students, I should say, because they're going to be away. They may need some help, and give them the resources to put together their own kits. All right? Are you on vacation? Can't take it with you? Scope out or think about, have a list of stuff that you're going to need, because it's going to be crazy if it happens, whatever happens, when you're away on vacation. Have an emergency preparedness list of stuff your emergency kit that you're going to need, so you can run to the store and get what you need if something's happening. Sometimes it just happens and you're out of luck. If you have planned for other events, you have probably got this one covered as well, other than just knowing where to be when the earthquake happens. The only difference is in how you react in the initial seconds or minutes of an earthquake and thereafter, okay, and how you protect yourself and your family. So that's earthquake preparedness. Sorry about that. Dropped my little clicker. But anyhow, thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Hope it helps you out. Hope you never have to use this. Like a lot of my videos, I hope you never have to use it. It's like we used to say at the fire department. We're just a big insurance policy, and that's what these things are. So thank you very much. If you liked the video, please let me know. If there's any information I need to add to this, let me know also. And please subscribe and have your friends subscribe. If you have friends that live in earthquake-prone areas, well, that's just about all of us if we think about it, send this to them and have them subscribe also. So please comment on this video. We love comments. I love some back and forth, especially for the people that know a lot more than I do. And a lot of this stuff is just to tweak your mind so you're thinking in the right direction. Check us out on Facebook on PrepU. Yeah, check out our other videos on YouTube. So for now, keep aware of your surroundings. Like we always say, be prepared to be on your own for up to 72 hours, and really it should be beyond that, but the key point is prep like your life depends on it, because we all know that your life and your family's life and others depends on you being prepared. Be one of the 3%. Thank you. Take care.